A Dinky Model 481 Bedford Ovaltine van, needing some serious attention, missing some tyres, got a little couple of dinks on it, and of course the transfers are gone. So we're going to start and do a restoration of this now. This Ovaltine Bedford van is in really good condition. Actually, it's not chipped at all. The paint's pretty good. There is a tyre missing, so we've got some replacement Dinky 15mm solid rubber tyres to sort that out, and the transfers are pretty faded, so what we're going to do with those is use these black square decals, and you can actually see the gold. It looks like gold leaf where it says Ovaltine biscuits, and I'll show you those now, and as you can see, this should make quite a good replacement. So we're going to take this river cutting drill bit and knock this rivet out. So we've taken the top of the rivet off, and this should now come out. The back wheels aren't actually kept in, so they just come off this axle, and it's just a question of have to clean that up a bit. Might actually run the drill bit into that a little bit more, take that off, and then we'll fit that with the screw. So we've got a 1.8mm drill bit in here. I'm going to use that to put a small hole into that post so that we can put self tappers in. And that should be enough to mount the plate when we've finished. We've taken the rivet off, so now this nicely comes apart, and the thing is, we're going to have to try and do a match up of the colour as well. So I've got two blues here. I've got a light blue, lighter sea blue I think, yeah, and then the other one is like a darker blue. And the trick is, when you're trying to make a blue to try and match this, it's easier to put a dark blue in it than black, because that sort of really just like muddies it up. So what I'm going to do here is put a bit of the light blue on here. And this is just really before we mix it up for the airbrush. A bit of the dark blue, like so. I'm just going to take some of this dark blue and put it into the lighter blue. Like so. And as you can see here, that's a pretty good match for the blue that's on there. In fact, you can almost can't see the join. So I'm just going to wipe this off, so I'm going to use that, and the next thing is to strip this. The tyres come off fairly easy. In fact, it just pulls out like that, and then that might have to be cut off. That looks like it's been burnt on actually, and that one comes off like so. Take a cutter to this one. There you go. Yeah, that looks like it's been melted on. So the next step, paint stripping. I'm going to use some paint and varnish stripper. I'm going to start with the base plate first. Just get some of that on there and rub it in with a toothbrush, preferably an old one.
This is all probably going to need a de-rusting as well afterwards, because this is this plate's it's got a bit of rust on it. So that's in there, and now I'm using these cheap sort of nitrile gloves. You get them in sort of packs of 50 for about £5 or something. So I'm going to put that to one side for about an hour, maybe two, and then see how we can take the paint off after that. We're going to take our van that's been soaking in the stripper and give it a clean and get rid of all the gunk off it, and then we can see exactly how much paint's taken off and whether or not we need to do a second coat. And that doesn't look too bad, in fact. So what we'll do now is we'll dry that off, and then we'll give it a clean with a wire brush, and it should be ready for paint. We're going to take the chassis and just put a little touch of a bend into this. It's got a slight little twist to it, so we'll use this little anvil. That's all that needs, really. The other thing is the tab at the back has got a slight bend to it, and we're going to try and straighten that. And that's nice and straight now, so that will go together. The next thing I'm going to do is take off the wheel, and to do that I'm going to grind off, hopefully, the end of the axle. I'm just going to give a light coat of some of this rust remover, and just to give it a touch on there. I'll just give that a couple of minutes before we clean that off. So with the base plate, we're just going to use a normal car primer, and just give that actual body shell. Going to use this time and see what this does. We're going to give the wheels a quick coat as well. I'm going to paint the Bedford chassis in a matte black, which will give it a bit of a shine actually, because it's not that matte. I've mixed the paint in the cup, which is a combination of light sea blue and some Azul Artico blue, or Arctic blue, and this is going to give it a slightly darker tone to match the original, which we'd like previously matched. So it's a question of spraying it, and I've only got like 1 cup of this, so I kind of want to give the interior a light coat sort of around the windows, and then I'm really going to concentrate on painting the outside and the wheels, just to make sure I've got enough to go around. we're going to put a transfer onto this van, and the first thing we have to do is cut out the transfer. And the way that it goes quite close to the top, so I want to get this quite close to the line without of course cutting into the transfer itself. So I'm going to use Humbrol's decal fix, and put that in here, and then soak the label into it. Quite disconcertingly, it will curl up. Whoa! But as it starts to soak in, it will flatten out. We hope. I'm just going to put a few drops on the top, flat. It's starting to flatten out now. Right, that's coming up for about 3 minutes. So what we're going to do is get the van side prepared, and for this we're going to put some of this into where we want the transfer to slide. So then it's a question of taking this transfer carefully and we'll lay it on there like that. You see it's wanting to slide off already actually. So it's starting to go. That means we've got a little clear piece of transfer to hold on to, the backing paper. It's a question of sliding that off. I'm going to put the chassis together, and we're using these quick fit axles which have little pins pushed into them, and this is the front one. So we'll put they're going to put a tiny drop of super glue into the end. Now just tap that in. We're using the original one. That is live, as it were. There's no pins or peening that has to go onto that, because that's held in place by the body. So it goes on like that. That hooks through the back like so. And then we're going to take a 2mm button head Allen bolt, and that will just self tap into the hole that we drilled previously into that post. So screw that down. To finish off the van, and before we give it a coat of lacquer or varnish, actually we're going to use clear coat on this one. Going to put some silver onto the grille and the lights as per the original. I'm going to put a coat of clear gloss onto the van, and this is just sprayed straight out the bottle, straight into the gun. And then I'm probably going to give that a second coat as well. Now it's really coming up with a shine on it now, so I think, and of course the lid, stop all the bits of dust getting onto it.